So we have some developments in the political arena, which is what my forte is, what I care about. Everybody talks about the drama of the day, and I do that too, as somebody who's online talking about political stuff. But the meat and potatoes is about winning races. That's where I focus my time and my energies, is about what wins. Because you can have the best ideals in the world. If you do not put votes up and points up on the board and produce W's in November, it's all pretty much pointless. So there's a trend happening now, and it happened again last night. And I want to get off on Michigan and Al Said, because this is a development that we all need to take very, very close attention, pay very close attention to. The Liberal Party, the Democratic Party in the United States, coming off of its first popular vote loss in 2 decades. Donald Trump won the popular vote in 2024. In response to that, I'm very interested to see what the Democrats, specifically the DNC and the marketing and the media behind them, are going to do in order to result in their best chance for a W in the midterms in 2026, which is right around the corner now that it is August. We're 90 days away, roughly. And in typical Democratic fashion, they are stuck back in 2012, 2010. The Democratic Party is right now led by people who were brought up in the Obama era. It is no longer the Obama era. It was a long time ago. The man's been gone from office for a decade. He was elected for the first time almost 20 years ago. The rules no longer work anymore. You have to adapt or you die. And we're seeing that now with the Democratic Party trying to use old tricks to get new results. And it's not going to work. It's not going to work. The demographics have changed. The country has moved to the right. If you don't believe me, I'm sorry, but that's just your own fault. And I'm not going to take the time to lay out. Go look at my other previous videos. There's about 5 or 6 reasons why this country is trending to the right from a political perspective. So what does the Democratic Party do? They nominate 5 Democratic, openly self-identified Democratic socialists have won their primaries. We're backed by the DNC. They have run to the left. The country's moving to the right, and the DNC has moved the entire money, all the money and all the focus to the left. As a Republican, as a conservative, I love it, because y'all are going to get nailed in November. And then again nailed in 2028, especially if we on the right nominate the correct person, who is as of today. We'll see who runs and who. I don't want to get off on this in 2028 because I want to talk about other stuff today. But if the Conservative Party, the GOP, nominates Marco Rubio, it's over. It's over. All right. The country's trending right. The liberals on the left have nominated the furthest left candidates that they can find. They make Bernie Sanders look moderate. It's a recipe for disaster. If your enemy is making a mistake, don't interrupt them. That's the prevailing winds. So I'm very curious to see what happens in November. I took a rash of crap on this app 2.5 years ago, leading up to the 2024 election, whenever I said Trump was going to win over and over and over again. People mocked, people complained, people did whatever, and that's fine. I can handle that. That's not a big deal. I literally do not care. But he won because the country's trending right. And Trump is not even a Republican. He's a populist. He's not even a conservative. Not even close. He's added more debt to this nation than any president ever has. That is not the earmarks of a conservative president, okay? And again, I don't want to get off on that in the weeds because I could talk about that all day. That's the first thing. Is it's very, very interesting to see the DNC, who's broke, by the way, is nominating, funding, backing, pushing these literal democratic socialists. That's the first thing. The second thing, I want to talk about Michigan for a second, and specifically the Islamic population of Michigan. I have no problem, zero problem with Muslim people. Zero. I met them. I've interacted with them. 99.9% of them are devout people who just want to live their lives and raise their children and do what they want to do on this planet. But the religion of Islam is gaining a foothold. Al Said won his primary last night. Mamdani's gotten a lot of attention, another Democratic socialist. I'm going to use the metaphor of a baby tiger. It's happened again and again and again on this planet. It is a fact that Islam will find its way into a nation. It will come in like a little fluffy, cute baby tiger, and then it takes over the couch, and then it takes over a room, and then it takes over the house. And that's what's happening. Now, don't get me wrong. I am a Christian, 100%. We got quite the head start. In God We Trust is printed on the money. You can't throw a rock in rural America 50 feet without hitting 2 churches. 96% of Congress identifies as Christian in some capacity. We're fine. For now. Mark my words, in 20 years from now, maybe sooner, I don't know. If you identify as Muslim, the Muslim demographic births twice the amount of children than anybody else on planet Earth. 2 times. That's a real number. It's just math. And in 2 decades, liberals in Michigan will beg for Christian nationalism to make a resurgence. Y'all hate that today. Can't stand it. I don't believe in it. And that's fine. That's a whole other discussion again. I can do 4 or 5 videos off this one video. If we want to talk about it, comment, and I'll be more than happy to engage. But in 20 years' time, residents of Michigan, New York, Ohio, Indiana, where I live, especially if you're a liberal, who are currently waving them in, not just from an immigration perspective, but Muslims are identifying. Al Said is a socialist Democrat. They are identifying as Democrats because they know that it's a loophole. And they think generationally. They come in cute and cuddly, offering health care and free stuff, and then you wake up in 2 decades and you wonder what happened? How did we get here? It happens in Iran. It happened 50 years ago. It happened in Egypt. It happens everywhere. It's happening in Germany right now. In the name of tolerance and acceptance, Islam is embraced. And then you wake up in 20 years and they're no longer as tolerant as they were when they first got here. I don't know what to do to fix that. But I do know that if you're on the left, it's time to take an inventory. They did that audit and they've tried to figure out why Kamala lost. It's pretty clear cut. They even eliminated the chapter. That's a whole other thing about Joe Biden and his mental decline and how they never identify with that. But if you're a Democrat right now in this country, you guys are 1.5 elections away from being obsolete. That's already cause for concern. And then on top of that, we're talking about the potential for an Islamic stronghold as a voting bloc in the Democratic Party, which is baffling to me. There's no ideology on the left that jives with Islam. None. So they're playing y'all for fools. Have a good day, everybody.